Ah, good afternoon, world. It is moments past noon in Waxahachie, Texas, deep in the heart of the Lone Star State. And today is the 24th of February. This month is getting away from us, and it's the 122nd episode of Grit and Good News. And as always, we're broadcasting live from our palatial studios here in downtown Waxahachie in the shadows of the historic Ellis County Courthouse. And I'm your man, Jeff Lynch, capably manning the board and getting new wires on our monitors and taking care of all our tech work is our man Sam Brooks.
Yep.
And my compadre, my friend, your idol, Scott Brooks.
Speaking of idols, before we get to the show, Sonia and I are watching. We do this we watch American Idol about once every 3 years, and it only takes us watching one of those shows in the season to get hooked on it. So if we don't get hooked early on, then we don't watch it. But we're watching it now, and Jay, what is her name? The girl from Red Oak. She's been on it before. She was on it again and got cut again.
Every
Um,
time I see it, I want to watch it all the time, and my wife won't get
I tell you what,
on tune with it. Yeah.
if you stop and watch it, it can be addicting.
We missed the first episode of The Voice.
Yeah, I've never watched The Voice
Oh,
ever.
man, you
Anyway,
should.
thank y'all for being here. It's Scott, Jeff, and Sam on Grit and Good News every Tuesday and Thursday, noon to 1 o'clock Texas time, which is Central Standard Time. We love having you here, and we love the feedback that we get. I am getting more feedback uh, just out and about than I ever have before, so we're grateful for that. We enjoy talking about everything under the sun, pardon the pun, and usually do. We have a ton to talk about today, but before we get to all that stuff, we do our usual shtick, which is this is our 122nd episode, which Jeff just told you. We take, in this case, the last two numbers of that, which are 22, and we ask Sam to go out into the ether. You know what ether is, Sam?
The world.
Very good.
I know what I'm doing.
I'm in.
I know what I'm.
That was a guess.
Don't hurt your shoulder
Go out.
patting yourself on the back, young man.
Go out into the world and find famous athletes in the four sports that were number 22. So,
NFL.
floor is yours, Sam. Oh, 22.
Don't give me the easy
Oh,
one.
well, Bob Hayes.
I get the easy one. I never.
Oh, yeah.
Emmett.
Emmett, there it is.
Emmett.
Bob Hayes was
Bob
before
Hayes.
Emmett. Bob Hayes was the original Emmett,
Yeah.
although not as good as Emmett.
What was his nickname?
Bullet.
Yeah,
Bullet Bob
Bullet.
Hayes.
Yeah.
You know
Couldn't
why?
use that name today.
He's fast, I guess.
And
Yeah.
you know, he won the Olympic 100-meter, not the 100
I don't
yard.
remember. Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
But he couldn't be called Bullet today. With
No.
the left would go nuts, just like the Washington Bullets are now the
Oh.
Wizards.
Yeah.
All right, so we got Emmett and Bob Hayes out of the way.
I got Paul Krause for the Vikings.
Defensive back for the
Yeah.
Vikings. Very good
I
player.
got Mike Haynes for the Raiders. And then Bob Hayes. And then Roger Worley. He's a legend. Ed Reed wore it for the Jets.
Yeah.
And then current Najee Harris for the Chargers, I believe.
No, and yeah, now he is. He
Mhm.
was with the Steelers. And where did he play ball?
Alabama. He was good.
He was 22 at Bama too.
Yeah, he was
and
good.
He's got on his buckle up Bama shirt today. All right, is that all in football?
That's all in football.
Okay.
All
What
right.
about
NBA.
NBA 22?
There's some.
I wonder if that was my boy Andrew Toney I talked to y'all about the other day.
No, I didn't get
Poor
him.
Andrew. He's being picked on him.
I got Elgin Baylor
Yeah.
for the Lakers. Clyde Drexler.
Clyde the Glide.
Yeah.
The
He was
Glide.
with Phi Slamma Jamma with Houston.
University of Houston.
Yeah.
Played with Hakeem Olajuwon.
Yeah.
This
As a
legend.
team.
Yeah, it was a team.
This legend played for the Knicks and Pistons. Dave Boucher.
The Butcher.
The Butcher. Why they gotta do all that extra stuff?
I don't know.
All right. And Jimmy Butler wore for the Heat. He took the 8-seed Heat to the finals like twice.
Jimmy Butler.
And then Moses Malone wore it.
Yeah.
All right, that's it for the NBA.
I think your source is wrong there.
I look at
Moses
pictures.
Malone was number 2.
I'll show you a picture after. Like I showed you
I
the
think
one
you
of.
looked at 2 pictures of him and said,
No.
"Oh, he's 22, but he's actually 2 in both." Okay.
MLB.
MLB number 22. It's hard to remember.
One of the best pitchers.
Sandy Koufax.
Multiple rings.
Current or
I think he's still
more
playing.
current?
I think he's still playing.
Not Justin Verlander.
Come on.
Really?
Yep. Clayton Kershaw.
Yeah, very
he's still
good,
playing, right?
Sam. Yeah, I think he may be done.
Yeah. And then Roger Clemens for the Yankees.
Yeah.
We got Will Clark
Yep.
for the
Wow.
Giants, and then the speedy Andrew McCutchen
Yeah, for
for the
Pittsburgh originally.
Pirates.
Yeah.
Yeah, he doesn't play there right now.
He does. He's
Okay.
back with them. Yeah.
Jason Hayward for the Cardinals, and then Juan Soto. Correct. I don't know who he plays for.
Plays for the Mets.
Mets.
Yep.
All right, NHL. I got a lot of names here.
All right, let's butcher
I'll
'em.
start with Mike Bossy
You got that
Good.
right. Yep.
for the Islanders. I got Daniel Sedin
Sedane.
for
And
the
he was
Canucks.
a twin, and they both played together, and he won the Art Ross Trophy for #1 scorer. Doing that at Vancouver is not the easy thing to do either.
And then
Yeah.
I hope this guy's name is right. Dino Cicerelli.
That's
Dino.
Dino.
Oh man,
You're close.
I wanted it to be Dino for the Wings, and then we got Rick Tichet Pocket for the Flyers, Mike Gartner
Yeah.
for the Capitals, Glenn Hall for the Bruins, and then Brad Park for the Bruins.
A
Very
great,
good.
great one. And we forgot a current one for Nashville, Jordan. Tutu. Excuse me. Tutu. And boy, they got their tutu whistles there in Vancouver. When he gets the puck, they're all tutuing, and it's wild.
Hockey has some great names.
And
All right, that was
Willie
a
O'Reilly,
oh.
the first black man in the National Hockey League.
Oh, cool.
All right, yeah, the great segue. Are you done, Sam?
Yeah.
Into Olympic hockey. So last Thursday in a thrilling game, the ladies women's hockey team beat Canada 2-1 in overtime. And then on Sunday morning, beginning at 8 o'clock, which I was awake and watched.
So 7:10 our time.
Was it 7:10? Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, well, I watched it whenever it
yeah.
started. But the USA men beat Canada men 2-1 in overtime, and quite the game. I mean, it's an amazing thing. I mean, I know a lot about hockey, but I couldn't play hockey for a split second. I can't even stand up on ice skates. But to watch those guys play and watch Canada even, I mean, give it their all, it's just an amazing experience. So I couldn't imagine what it would be like in the arena to watch that.
Yeah. And before we go deep on hockey, what you say about skating, I was thinking about this, how well, first of all, they made a comment that I never heard anybody put it like this. They said, you know that every event here happens on snow or ice.
Yeah.
Whoa. And do you know there's of all the different events that they skate at, there's 3 different types of skates used. Hockey skates are one type, figure skates are completely different, and then
Speed skating.
the speed skaters with the long blades.
Yeah, it's yeah, when you think about the Olympics and the Winter Olympics, everything's on snow and ice.
Yeah.
It's amazing. But so we have the game on Sunday morning. The kid that scored the winning goal, Hughes, has a brother that plays on the team. There are 2 sets of brothers that played on the USA team, the Kachucks and the Hughes brothers. The one that scored the game-winning goal had in the previous period or in the second period, I don't know which, got nailed with a stick, and it knocked. If you saw him, which I'm sure most of you did, he's got that toothless grin,
Yeah.
and he in that game he got his teeth knocked out. Last night I saw him. They arrived in Miami because they can't fly into New York because of the snow, and he was interviewed, and he was smiling, and he said, "I got to get these." They were asking him about it. He said, "I got to get these things fixed. I need my great smile back."
Our great stars commentator calls them chiclets.
Yeah. But I've been punched one time in my life with just sucker punched by a teammate in college basketball, oddly enough, in practice, oddly enough. But I never lost any teeth. And if you get cold cocked, on the side, you're probably not going to lose the front teeth. But can you imagine being hit with a stick right in the teeth?
When I was in 6th grade that summer, we're fooling around down at the park with the guys' parents' golf clubs, and I caught his backswing in
Yeah.
my mouth.
Makes me grit my teeth.
Knocked out a tooth.
Well, this
my
guy's
lip.
he had teeth knocked out, and he had one of his front teeth broken in half.
Yeah.
That seems like to me it would hurt a
And
lot.
it's got kind of the point at the end.
Yeah. So anyway, he'll have his veneers in and looking good. I don't know why they don't wear mouthpieces. I've never understood that.
Well,
And you see some of them, the Kachucks, they wear them, but they chew on them.
you're supposed to wear them.
Yeah, obviously this kid didn't. Anyway, so the hockey is pretty remarkable what happened, and now the left, the media is going berserk because the women's, I guess, are going berserk over the joy because the women team has said no to joining Trump in the State of the Union tonight. Uh,
As did the men's.
oh, did they? I didn't see that.
Yeah.
I don't see how logistically they could pull that off.
Well, yeah, and Rita pulled this out. Saw it in the paper. I pulled it out. I don't understand. Sometimes I think Trump doesn't surround himself with the best people all the time because the reason that they said they couldn't play is due to the timing and previously scheduled academic and
Yeah,
professional commitments. Well, that applies to the women. It applies to the men too. Why would you even ask them there, other
yeah.
than you're just kind of
I
pandering for USA pride to swell from them to
I
you.
I
I
think
just didn't like it.
I think I could see myself doing the same thing. I could see myself being out and about, talking to a buddy or talking to some people that did really well and say, you know what, just get y'all to uh, let's do this, let's do that. And then I go back and find out there's no way logistically to be able to do it. I
Right.
think that's just Trump's nature, is that he wants to say, hey, well, first of all, he knows that many of the Democrats aren't going to show up, which is
Yeah.
just another, these people, I
Yeah.
don't know who on the left is.
That's better than booing and
Yeah, it
better
is
than
better
not
than booing.
standing up at the right
It is better
times.
than booing, but the
Uh,
point is that there will be seats for them. I mean, you're talking about a whole bunch of how many? 55. The entourage is
mhm.
55. That associated with the men, not players, but players and everybody else. And I don't know if Trump was inviting everybody, but how do you get from Miami up to Washington? They don't have the proper clothes, so there's just logistically, it's not possible. But I think the media is going crazy with joy because they want to interpret it all as being they're shunning Trump,
I know,
and it's
it's the typical way of twisting the story.
yeah,
It's just now this is pretty good in the paper.
yeah,
And then this last part I really like. On Sunday, Trump spoke with the US men's hockey team as they celebrated after an overtime gold medal victor.
yeah.
The president invited the men's team and told them that he had to invite the women's team too, saying if he didn't, he would probably be impeached. Donald,
He
you
has no
don't know
filter.
when to quit, dude.
He did. It wouldn't be Donald Trump if he did know how to quit. All right, Sam, with what Jeff just said, let's show
The cash
we're going to show
cartel.
you well, the one before that, which
Oh,
will be the phone call with Trump to the players are they in the locker room? Yes. Yeah, so this is Trump uh on the phone with the USA men's hockey team in the locker room after the game winning uh after the win.
Only played not bad. Howie, say hi. Howie, say hi to him. How you doing, Don?
That was the goalie talking to
yeah,
Trump.
another golden Don.
Goalies have slightly worse games. Unbelievable, and you were all unbelievable. And that team is pretty good you played. I don't know if we'll ever get anytime soon, right? And, I tell you what, I just told my people 2 minutes ago, I didn't know they'd be calling. I said, we're giving the State of the Union speech on Tuesday night. I could send a military plane or something, but if you would like to, it's the coolest night. It's the biggest. We're in. Yeah. Can you pick us up in Miami on Tuesday morning? Yeah, Tuesday morning. Close the northern border. We'll get cash and we'll get the military to get you guys over. I'm gonna let's go.
That's good, Sam. Yeah, so again, that's Trump doing what Trump does. He
Right.
wants to
all
participate. He's
good.
very patriotic, obviously. What's interesting about this on several things, but I just want to mention one. These are young men in their 20s, largely. I mean, the guy that scored the goal, game-winning goal by example, is 24 years
Yeah.
old. Um, most of them are in their 20s. There might be some in their 30s,
There's quite a few in the 30s.
but say 20 or 30, but they're from a much younger generation,
Right, right.
and they're embracing Trump. I'm sure there's somebody in there that's not pro-Trump, but these are there we go, Sam. These are young men who are. Imagine being a young man just having won the gold medal in hockey, and then your president of the United States invites you to spend time with him. You can see we're in. You heard all of that. Compared to the narrative that you get that is filtered through the left wing media, and then you hear different stories. Saying the women, we didn't get that. What we got from the left wing media for the women without the video was that essentially they don't want to be there for Trump. They're not pro Trump, but I guarantee you they would have acted much the same way.
No, it's they said it was because of
I
the
know
time and the
that's I know
commitments.
what you're saying,
Yeah,
and I
yeah.
appreciate that. But what if you watch the left wing media, broadcast
Oh,
media, cable media, they're implying that the women aren't going because they're anti-Trump, which isn't the case.
right. Well, they
Um,
twist it. We're going to talk more about twisting
yes, we
later
are.
on. And how about when they interviewed him after the game-winning goal, and he's just all tired and everything, and he is just talking about the greatness of the United
Yeah,
States, the greatness of U.S. hockey. Uh, it was such a nice show of patriotism, and there was no animosity,
right.
and there was no
It
putting
was it
down,
was raw. It was
and
good.
there was no
Yeah,
politicizing it.
it was
You
good. It
know.
was really good. All right, Sam, show one more. Let me set this up. This is a short video of Uh, the same locker room, same players, obviously. This time it's got Kash Patel, the director of the FBI, in there with him. He's a big hockey fan. He's a little guy. I mean, he's stocky, but he's a little guy. I don't know if he knows how to play hockey or has played hockey, but he's a big hockey fan. The context of it is that the left and the left wing media are going berserk in America right now because they can't believe that the FBI director would be in the locker room jumping around, screaming and yelling with joy. I mean, that is pure,
Amen. Unmitigated.
unadulterated, unmitigated joy, and the left is going berserk. One of the other pieces of this is that there are pictures of Obama when he was in the locker room with Olympic athletes after their games. I think Biden he spoke to him or was involved one way or the other. I think he
Right.
was actually on the phone with them. But this is just pure patriotic joy out of our FBI director. Go ahead, Sam. They put a gold medal around his neck. Oh, there it is. He's watching him start jumping.
They don't know the
That's
words yet.
good. Yeah. So I say good, really good stuff. And
Great.
Kash Patel, he's in his 40s. I mean, when I was in my 40s, I'm in my 60s now, and if I were there, I'd be jumping around like a crazy guy. It's just awesome, and we ought to celebrate every bit of it.
Here's one of the great quotes from Brian Boucher down at ice level. Yeah, I don't know if you remember when it got a little bit chippy-ish in the late third. Marchant, who was the
A rat,
troublemaker from Bruin. He was the rat.
rat.
He's
Yeah,
now got a cup down in Florida, and
yeah,
um, he comes up and he's yapping
yeah,
and he's trying to stir it up.
yeah.
And when it's all done, he says, "There's one player who can talk a stamp off an envelope."
Yeah. You know, he is a rat. He's the kind of guy you hate unless he's on your team.
Right?
And then probably half the players on his own team hate him. Sonny says that's the one of the coolest videos. Thank you, sweetheart. That it is a cool video. And imagine looking at something like that. Pure patriotic joy
Yeah.
and finding something wrong with it. Imagine the jade or the skepticism, the filter, the lens through which you look at things to find fault with that. Which suggests that you live a cold, dark, isolated life,
There
in my
was
opinion.
one downer to it.
What's that?
Did you see the closing ceremonies?
No, I didn't. I didn't watch the opening or closing.
I didn't really want to, and I thought, man, I gotta see our guys and our girls and the figure skaters I love,
Yeah.
and this thing comes on, and I'm watching this thing. I'm thinking, am I watching the Grammys or what am I
Oh yeah.
watching? And it reminded me of the French ceremony that we hated, and it was about close to 30 minutes before they got done with all their little histrionics and drama and singing and going back in history, and it was just
Yeah, I
didn't
didn't.
have anything to do with it.
I
It
didn't
brought
see
me
it.
down. It
Yeah, I
brought me
didn't
down.
see it. It's I will say it's of all the Olympics I've watched, and I don't think I've ever missed since I was able to comprehend what was going on. I've ever missed an Olympics, uh, either summer or winter. Now, everything begins for 2028, and the work is so massive that had to be done for these things.
We got Gavin Newsom out there. He'll make
We're going to
sure
get to
everything
Gavin
works
Newsom
out
in just
just
a minute. That
perfectly.
would have been a great segue, but we're not there yet. All right, we're on our updates. I'm going to mention something to you, sports lovers out there. The NFL has announced that there will likely be penalties called by the replay officials up in the booth this coming year. And those types of plays that they will call penalties on would be those types of plays that we saw some in the playoffs and throughout the year where where it's not where the action is, it's off action, kind of, if that's a way to describe it, where a player is fighting with another player. Jeff and I were talking about it in prep, where on the 10-yard line, the game's been played on the 30 and the 10-yard line, you know, Benson and
Yeah.
Hedges is down there fighting each other and nobody's watching it. Well, the replay official can call down, or a play that was so obvious, like Sammy. You maybe remember this. That Sam Darnold, I think in the playoffs, I think it was Sam Darnold got crushed targeting, and I don't think, yeah, they don't call it targeting in the NFL, I don't think, but he got it was it. Yeah, I don't know if they call it targeting, but got blasted and no call. And I think the replay official can make calls on that. So I think they're going to get. I mean, the frustration with the NFL among many is how do you miss that? I mean, how do you miss that?
The play that comes to mind is the Rams and the Saints.
Yeah, a few years
Yeah.
back. Yeah,
I mean,
now,
that would be so crucial to have that now
yeah, it
because the
would
Saints
be.
would have won that
Yeah,
game.
and I don't know if the NFL saying it would be because that play was the action play.
Okay, yeah.
What they're talking about here is more the
Away from.
non-action plays, but that are penalties. So you have that with the NFL. On the UFL side, which the UFL side starts in a couple, 2 or 3 weeks, all the players are in Arlington now for camps and that sort of
We
thing.
never go. I never
Yeah,
go. You never go.
I've never gone to one. Not, I mean, I would, but I don't know if I want to watch it depends on where the seats are, because that's a layout. The football field is laid out in the outfield of the old Rangers ballpark in Arlington, uh, and I'm sure they've made it so that it's watchable, but I don't know about that. The UFL, which I like the UFL's forward-thinking process here.
Mhm.
The NFL took on the whole kickoff routine from the UFL. The UFL now is saying for this year they will, for any field goal beyond 60 yards or more, is 4 points, not three. So the Dean Blandino, who used to be an official with the NFL and is now the UFL's head of officiating, said, "Look, if you make a 30-yarder, which is a whole lot easier than a 60-yarder, a 60-yarder, you ought to get more points. It makes common sense. It's like I've said to you guys before, and anybody will listen to me. I think to make the game even better and more exciting is that on any kickoff in the NFL, if the ball goes through the upright, that's worth 1 point on the kickoff. So imagine being tied or being down by a point,
Yeah.
and you don't want to go for the onside kick. You kick it. So you're going to be getting these these kickers who got a big leg to be able to kick it through the upright. The other rule change here is that let's see, change this option for 2-point conversion. Well, now that's that. Created more space for kickoff returns, so they're making some more exciting things there.
The NFL taking out ties.
Huh?
Are they taking out ties?
No. Listen to this. The UFL has adopted the NCAA rule that requires only 1 foot inbounds for a completed catch.
Who? The UFL?
Uh-huh. The rule, which was also used by the XFL in 2020, further promotes offense. It changed its options for points after touchdowns in response to feedback from its coaches. The 2-point conversion will now align with the NFL, placing it at the 2-yard line. It had been at the 5-yard line. So they're doing that. And I thought there was one more.
All these changes, and we're not going to see any of them.
Well, we'll watch it on TV.
You will not.
I have watched it on TV. Yeah, heck yeah. Let's see. Son, I'll tell you. There was one
Sonia,
more
nice
here that
comment, Sonia.
but I can't remember what it is. It was an interesting play. Oh well.
Good for the UFL. But the NFL needs to take out five. And another thing they need to change onside kicks because there was like only 5 recoveries
Well,
Yeah.
yeah.
last
So the
season.
UFL, I think I'd have to look. It maybe that's the other one is that instead of a kicking, like dribbling it, like
Yeah.
is to say you get the ball on the 20, on your own 20. If you want to go for an onside play, you get your ball on the 20, your own 20. It's 4th and 15. If you get it, then you keep the ball. But if you don't get the 15 yards, then you have to turn it over to the other team on the 20. So it makes it
No.
more competitive. All right. Real quickly, early voting tally. Remember, for those of you local, early voting is through the 27th. Right now, there's 10% of registered voters have voted. 15,417 people have voted throughout all the voting places. The
In
Democrats,
LS County.
there have been 2,600 or so more votes on the Republican side than there have been on the Democrat side locally. So that ought to, I think that concurs with the way it's been in past years. Let's see, Nancy Guthrie, Savannah Guthrie, as an update, Savannah Guthrie has now offered $1 million for the return of Nancy Guthrie. It's been 20 days or something close to it. I don't, I mean, I hate to be a Debbie Downer here, but I don't see how, unless this is all, well, unless this is all a massive, whatever, not conspiracy, but massive, well, I guess it would be a conspiracy, but something's really, really beyond our thinking here. I don't see how she could be alive. If in fact she's doing without her medicine, her pacemaker, all that stuff, I don't know how she could be alive. And I don't know what the end game here is. I mean, there's $1 million and we'll see. Something, something is just, I mean, you don't have to be a
I asked
rocket
Rita,
scientist.
she's still doing her show. She's doing
Oh,
her
is she?
she's
I
doing
didn't know
her
that.
morning TV show
Oh, I
still.
didn't know that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I wouldn't be.
Yeah.
All right. Let's talk about Tarnations real quick. I've got one, Mark Cuban. We talked about him last week, who believes tanking is good for the what do you call it? Fans, the fans' perspective, which Mark Cuban something boy ain't right. In response to that, several people, namely the owner of the Phoenix Suns, came out and said, essentially, are you crazy? What in the tarnation are you talking about? And said that tanking, there ought to be massive fines for those tanking. I totally agree. So hopefully the NFL, not NFL, NBA will, yeah. So they're going to come out with some strict rules. And one other tarnation for me, do you know that no coach in the Olympics, no coach of any team, any squad, any sport receives a medal? Yep. So the coaches of the USA hockey team, no medals. They don't get anything. The Olympics said that the medals are strictly for players on
I've got
the
no problem with
field of
that.
play or court or ice or you know. So I think it's really I don't have a problem with it for individual sports, but I do have an issue with it when it's a coach because it is a team, and the coach ostensibly has more influence on a team atmosphere than I mean, imagine just being a golfer versus a basketball team. You don't, yeah, I mean, or basketball. You have they're calling plays. So, but I thought that would strike you as being different.
I'm okay.
Any tarnations from you?
We used them all up already.
All right, let's talk about. I'm going to talk to you, and all of us do, about the race for Democrat and the Democrat primary for the state of Texas, the Senate position. On the right, on the conservative Republican side, we have John Cornyn, Wesley Hunt, and Ken Paxton running to either John Cornyn to retain a seat or for Ken Paxton or Wesley Hunt to take that seat from Cornyn. It's not Cornyn's, it's our seat, but to win that seat, the polls right now show that Ken Paxton is leading, which is interesting. Um, on the Democrat side, the race is between. I know there's another guy, maybe more than one other guy that I don't even know his name. You had mentioned it, maybe his name last week, but really, it boils down to James Talarico, who is a state senator now in Texas, and Jasmine Crockett, who is a U.S. Congresswoman representing District 30 something or
Is that
30.
Wesley Hunt, the guy from Houston?
No,
That's
he's
the
in the on the Republican
Republican.
side.
Okay.
Yeah. But James Talarico is an interesting guy. We know about Jasmine Crockett largely because she's, in my opinion only, she's whacked. I don't think she's, I will say this that I had a in-person meeting the other day with somebody in from Washington D.C. that lives down here, and we were talking about her, and he said, in a one-on-one conversation, she is nothing like what you see on TV or in those hearings. So it would suggest to me that the flaw with Jasmine Crockett is that she doesn't know how to be the kind of smart, sincere,
Interesting.
authentic person she is in one-on-one meetings. She doesn't know how to be that way for the rest of the world when she knows the world is watching. And I think that's kind of a sad state of affairs. If you can't just be who you are at all times, then what's the point? I
Yeah, is
mean,
she uncomfortable with her own skin? I mean,
yeah, she must be. She must be, or she must believe, she must be hooked on the idea that to get all the attention she gets, she has to act like a fool because she does. I don't know that there's ever been a time when I've seen Jasmine Crockett not act a fool.
but here's the thing. People don't act a fool intentionally. They don't know that they're acting a fool.
Well, that's
Uh,
the
uh,
question about a Jasmine Crockett is I would agree with you, but isn't if Jasmine Crockett can be for somebody that I trust and like who's up there in a one-on-one to say to me, she's the opposite, then you would have to say she may not know that she turns into that foolish acting person when she's actually doing it, but certainly when she watches back her own
Hello?
videos, she's got to say, Why am I acting like that? Oh my gosh, why did I do that?" Because if in a one-on-one setting, that's why I think it would be interesting to be able to talk with her in here, is because I think she wouldn't be what we see on TV. She would have a normal conversation with us. But so with her, I believe she does know at some point in the process that when she's in front of a camera in a hearing, which is also in front of a camera, she's acting a fool. Something about her is off so much so that she knows it and still does it. Whereas some people, like an Eric Swalwell, Gavin Newsom, I don't think those guys know how foolish they actually look and are seen as. But I want to talk about James Talarico for a second. So, and Jeff and Sammy, you guys can weigh in from your perspective, and I'll try to be pithy with this, as Russ used to say. That means being succinct. But Talarico he's a pastor. He's a current congressman. He's, I think, been a businessman. So we're talking about, and if you listen to him, he's articulate. He doesn't act a fool. So he's more. I don't know if he's authentic, but he appears to be more aware of himself than Jasmine Crockett does. So when he's campaigning, but Talarico has come out and said, this is a quote, that abortion and gay marriage are, quote, two issues that aren't mentioned in the Bible, two issues that Jesus never talked about, close quote. All right. So he uses uh, that statement and that truth. The truth is, abortion and gay marriage, those words are not used in the Bible. I don't even know if abortion was a word back then. And I don't even know if gay marriage, I mean, those are our words, right? So who knows how things like that were described back in the day, back in Jesus' day. On Joe Rogan, and that what I just read to you was in his Colbert interview with all the hoopla from last week, where the FCC said you're not going to air that unless you give equal time to Jasmine Crockett. So they took it and they put it on YouTube. So that's when he said what I just read to you. On Joe Rogan, Talarico, Talarico argued that the Bible is pro choice because Mary, quote, gave consent, close quote, to God at the Annunciation uh, when she had Jesus.
that's one of the dumbest things. I mean, gave consent. It gave
Yeah. So what
consent.
Talarico is saying, imagine
How
the
about not much I can do about
the
it?
contortion is that Mary said to God that I'm giving you consent for me to have Jesus. Talarico is saying, therefore, it's a model for bodily autonomy. Uh,
That's
and
what I
so,
call over connecting the dots.
here's the point, though. The point, Talarico, I'm convinced Talarico knows exactly what he's doing. You cannot be a successful Democrat if you do not believe in abortion, the rights to abortion, which for us is taking the life of a child, and gay marriage and LBTQGHL, elemental P, whatever, all that stuff. So you cannot be a certified winning a Democrat if you don't believe in those things. We all can agree on that. This right here says, and so when people hear that, they say, well, wow, that's a great point. So the average Democrat out there, and I would suspect even a decent amount of Republicans, anybody out there, regardless of where you are on the political spectrum, would say, oh, wow, I hadn't really thought about it that way. But Talarico knows what he's doing. And I'm just examining this a little more closely because I think this is how politicians specifically, politicians on the left even more specifically, operate, and how the machine, the mental machine, convinces people that what they are voting for is right and righteous, when in fact it is an anathema to what God has said and what God stands for. And so let's start with just the rebuttal to what he says. The claim that Mary gave consent and therefore the Bible is pro-choice is absurd. In Luke 138, Mary says, quote, I am the Lord's servant. May your word to me be fulfilled. End of quote. That's not a woman weighing her options. That's a woman who says, I am submitting my body, my will, everything I am to God. So instead of Talarico says that in giving consent, Mary is saying to God, don't, just like we hear now today, you hear these women out there, don't tell me what I can do with my body. Don't touch my body. It's off limits. I can do what I want to, even if it means abortion. I can do whatever I want to my body. Talarico is saying that because Mary gave consent to God, that she's saying that to God. That's what he's saying.
With no consideration to the other body in your
Yeah,
body.
yeah. So Mary, that James Talarico is saying that's what Mary's doing. When in fact, Mary actually is saying, I submit everything I've got to you, God. If you're going to give me a baby, give me a baby, and I'll have the baby, which is exactly what she did. Um, the entire passage that I just read to you in Luke 138 is about obedience and trust, not choice, in the way that Talarico is framing it. It takes a lot of nerve to turn the incarnation of Christ into a campaign ad for abortion. Imagine
Yeah.
answering that on Judgment Day. So, James, when you took what Mary did by submitting her whole life to me, God, and having Jesus, and you use that to validate abortion, tell me about that. As for the claim that Jesus never talked about abortion, uh, Talarico, and for the people watching, I don't know how many people watching or hearing that step back and say, wait a second. Well, what else wasn't mentioned in the Bible? So Jesus never talked about abortion the way we talk about it today. But Jesus never mentioned rape. He never mentioned female genital mutilation in terms of transgender. He never talks about fentanyl. He never talks about lynching. He never talks about drug running, never talks about the cartel. And so what James Talarico is saying is, in the absence of Jesus directly stating something, that it's okay. James Talarico is smart enough to know that argument, for those that can think just below the hairline in their brain, can say what I just said. Well, wait a minute. What else is not mentioned?
Exactly. I never had one of those little rubber things with, was it WWJD? What would Jesus do?
Yeah.
Okay. That's, we cannot take an approach that says what was or wasn't in the Bible. We have to take the message of the Bible. Otherwise, um, everything that goes on in our world today wasn't mentioned in the Bible. I had this poem called There's Just One Jesus, and it's mostly about the golden rule and the similarity between all Christian religions
Mhm.
and um, such a lack of love by those who feel above the feelings of others, even their sisters and brothers. Yes, love conquers all. Jesus made this call. In a world without electricity, yet quite full of animosity. They had animosity back then too, but
Yeah.
it was how you act and behave. You can't take today's world and think it's all going to be in this book.
Yeah.
It's not in the Bible.
Yeah.
So
So, and the point of all this is beyond the obvious, which is egregious enough, is it that Talarico and I will say people in across the political spectrum, but most notably is the left, who is manipulative, particularly in these instances when we're talking about abortion and gay rights and transgenderism and all that stuff. He knows exactly what he's doing. So saying Jesus didn't say the word abortion, as if that settles the moral question, is either shallow theology, which I don't think it is for Talarico. He went to seminary, for God's sake, or deliberate manipulation. Now, you guys watching, tell me which of those you think it is. It's obviously manipulation. He knows that the average American, particularly the average American on the left, isn't going to stop and be and offer critical thinking on their behalf to really consider what it is Talarico's saying. They're not going to do this kind of analysis.
none of this surprises me after we talked about this briefly in another show. After I saw the commercial, and I'm just going to synthesize it by saying he basically said he's the one that got insulin prices down.
Yeah,
He did it
yeah,
single-handedly. Yeah, I go, no, no,
yeah. Yeah, that's the
you know,
Brian Harrison. That's the Brian Harrison shtick, where he says, you know, I got Texas A&M to to do this and to do that all by my. He even says it. He has the audacity to say, "I did it all by myself," which is a joke. It's also extremely arrogant.
Talarico did too.
Yeah, and so the fact that Talarico has seminary training makes it harder to chalk this up to ignorance. He should know better. But here's the thing: Talarico doesn't stand alone in all of this. And I want to just share this with you so that maybe we can leave this show today with a better understanding of the difference between the left and the right, and why certain things resonate with the left and why certain things resonate with and the right. Uh, so let me pattern works like this: lead with compassion language, strip away the harder moral categories, and then paint anyone who still draws from those categories as unchristian, heartless, and hateful. So Talarico would say that because those of us on the right go deeper with our morality, and in doing so, where we say abortion is murder, because we go deeper with our morality. We don't stay at the, well, we just got to be caring and compassionate level. Okay. We don't, because if we just stay at caring and compassionate, then when a woman says, don't touch my body, or when a politician says abortion is wrong and it deprives a woman of her rights, because we only operate at compassion and care, we won't go any deeper. He doesn't want us to go any deeper. But folks on the right will go deeper and say, wait a minute, that abortion is wrong. Um, so that's what's happening here. And so Talarico says, if you those who on the left who stick at the level of compassion and care will say, if you really care about women, you will support their right to choose. If you really love people, you'll affirm their identity. If you're really a Christian, you wouldn't turn away the stranger. See, they stay at care and compassion. But those are great things. We want to think of ourselves, no matter what age we are, that we are caring and compassionate. Of course we do. But the left stops there, which means the left is perfectly okay with saying we got to let all these people in. We got to accept illegal immigrants because we care and we're compassionate. Get it? So the right then says, or the left further, if it sounds loving, it feels righteous. That's where the left is. A psychologist, his name is Jonathan Haidt, Haidt, he's a liberal, found that progressives tend to weight two moral foundations far above the others. I just said them: care, and he called it fairness. All right. So if you're on the left, chances are that the world in which you live and the lens through which you see the world is about care, compassion, fairness. All right. That's why almost everything goes. What was going on with ICE is for the left, they stop right here and they say, well, we stand for fairness. It's not fair that Renee Good got killed despite what she was doing. It's not fair. We don't care. We can't accept not caring about somebody that got shot, regardless of what she was doing. But this psychologist says, so that's what you have on the liberal side. While conservatives draw from a broader palette of more that's more equal, includes loyalty, authority, sanctity, and liberty. And so we go deeper. We say, oh, our litmus test about something like those who are confronting ICE. The left is operating on, well, we're confronting ICE because we care about the immigrants being kicked out. We believe it's unfair, so we're going to just fight ICE. Those of us on the right will say, wait a second, we're talking about sanctity, loyalty, authority, liberty. May have already said that. Equality. We're thinking about all of those things, not just a couple of them. And so we go deeper, and it makes the litmus test as to whether or not we believe it's right or wrong far more in depth, far more in depth. That's why we say, well, wait a minute, that person's here illegally. That's disrespecting authority. When we see people protesting and throwing Molotov cocktails and that sort of thing, the left is like, yeah, you show them because you care and you want the world to be fair. We're saying, wait a minute, that's not how we go about doing things. So there's a great divide between the left and the right, obviously. But the point of all this is to understand. Remember, we talked about Trump. To understand Trump is to understand why he does the things he does. We want to understand how politicians like Talarico and others operate. So what you have, although Talarico is doing it through manipulation, he's wanting to say, I'm going to only operate so as to get your vote. I'm going to only operate at the levels of care and fairness or compassion. Okay, I'm not going to go any deeper because if I go deeper, that means I have to agree with you that abortion is wrong and that gay marriage is wrong.
We don't have enough time to go deep on this, but let me ask you this. If the general election were today, regardless of who the Republicans end up trotting out,
Yeah.
which one of these two would stand a better chance in the
The
general?
Talarico or Crockett?
Yeah,
Talarico or Crockett?
yes,
Talarico.
I think so
And so
too.
Talarico, matter of fact, there was a story before I came over. I saw it that a voter here in the Metroplex in tears, crying, sobbing, because she loves Jasmine for whatever reason. She loves her, but isn't voting for her because she wants to win. She wants to have a winner in the general election and believes that the only one that can do that is Talarico. I think that Talarico, she's right about that. I don't think Jasmine
Yeah.
Crockett has a chance in hell of winning the race in the general. In the primary, I think Talarico is going to win because he's the long-term play.
But I'll tell you what, I think this whole line of conversation. Where did this happen? Where did he say it, or what was
Well,
the?
yeah, on the Colbert
Oh, on the,
and then on Joe Rogan.
okay,
Talarico said these things,
yeah.
and so the guy
I think that'll work against him in the general.
I think it will because,
In a
I think if
conservative.
more and more people like we're doing will call him out for it to
Yeah.
say, James, come on. I mean, if we had him here, I'm sure he'll be in Ellis County at some point. But if we had him here, I would say, dude, you went to seminary. Tell me, let's go through this again. At what point are you stopping to accept God's word and the characteristics and values of a Christian? Where are you stopping so as to justify this maybe in your own mind, but I know you're manipulating people, but so that you can espouse it and get votes? What are you forfeiting of your soul to be able to establish that abortion is it? He knows better. You can't go through seminary and not know better. So this study here, I want to share with you this guy's name if I have it. If I don't, I'm going to tell you about it next week. I will have to tell you about it next week because I didn't have his name here. But he closes with saying, because the most dangerous lies almost never come dressed in hostility. They come dressed in a clerical collar, speaking gently and telling you exactly what you want to hear. That's Talarico. All right.
5 quick random
Love this
thoughts.
stuff. Yep, go for it.
This comes from um, Bob Dylan's latest album, which was in 2020, called Rough and Rowdy. The same album that has Murder Most Foul, a 13-minute song about the killing of President Kennedy. It's unbelievable. And he says in that song, only dead men are free. Wow.
Hmm.
Trust me, I make enough mistakes of my own. Why do I care about others' mistakes?
Yeah.
I don't know. I was listening to some vinyl the other day. I'm trying to read down a whole stack of vinyl from late great Tommy Sopkowitz, who died last April, and I was 1980 Doobies Brothers off of I can't remember the name of the song. Shadows Disappear at Night. Whoa,
Yeah, that's true. I
whoa!
wonder what he means by that.
I reread the rest of the lyrics and I couldn't find any real
Yeah.
context to it. Um, you don't make a mistake; mistakes make you.
No, that's true.
Okay. And this is by the great I didn't write it down. I succeed by saying what everybody else is thinking.
Yeah, I mean, there aren't enough people who say what they're thinking. They rely on those of us who are willing to say it.
Yeah.
I can't tell you how many times people say, "Thank you for saying what I want to say," but I can't. Uh, and in some cases they can, but largely they can. They just don't. Uh, Before we get to our rhyme, I mean our poem, I want to just yeah, let me just mention this while it's on my mind. Tomorrow I've got another column about well, first of all, there'll be a great column, another great column from Mark Singleton. For those of you local and those of you national watching, Mark Singleton is the owner, CEO, president, all that of Texas' largest community bank system in this great state. Very smart guy, very passionate guy. He's been writing columns in the Sun, really good stuff. The series is called Wake Up America. Tomorrow he's got another column in the Sun that will be very good. I've read it today and really appreciate it. I'll have a column right next to his that really examines a little more closely what's going on with Brian Harrison, our current Texas House District rep for District 10. Uh, he did some really ugly things yesterday. He posted a manufactured phone conversation uh, that never happened regarding a pollster so as to denigrate one of his opponents. He went on to call that opponent a drunk, uh, all kinds of other things. So that's not acceptable. It's not. Anyway, so go for it.
Thankfully, this will be a short poem, but I hope you like it. It's called Sir, S-I-R, Sir. I'm hearing Sir a lot. Sure hope it's not a plot. I guess it's okay. Yesterday became today. I was often called lad by my late great loving dad. The trip from lad to sir is quite a tale for sure. Little kid, big kid, forever a kid. No, I don't kid. Yes, sir is what I hear. More each passing year. But I kind of like the sound. Beats buried underground.
Yeah, that's good. I get a lot of compliments about Sammy and about my other son, Ross. Uh, Almost always those compliments include both boys are so polite and uh, say yes, sir, yes, ma'am. They look at us in the face, in the eyes, and they shake firmly, which is something
Oh, the
Sammy and I have
firm
talked about
handshake
since
we
he
love.
was two
Yes.
years old. All
Yes.
right, let's day in history.
Today in history.
Oh,
Okay. Yeah.
I know you know this.
Okay. Try me.
But the 1980 Olympics miracle, most people, even if you watch the guys on TV, they will say 40 years ago, or yeah,
46.
46 years ago, it was the last time the Americans won the gold, and they're playing the game against Russia. Well, that wasn't for the gold medal.
No, it was in the semis.
It
They
was.
had to beat Finland, but
They beat Finland. America beat Finland. Did we beat Finland for the
yeah.
gold? Yeah,
But it
and
was miraculous to beat them at that
it
time.
was, yeah, no, I think it's pretty cool that
Yeah.
we beat the Soviets, and that's the big deal.
Right.
But I think most people would say, those that
Right.
are associated with hockey would say, wait a minute, I thought we beat the Russians for the gold. We didn't. We beat
No,
the
we didn't.
Russians. The Russians ended up getting silver.
Right.
And we ended up with the gold, and Finland got the bronze.
Jeff, since 1980, has the American USA Hockey gotten silver in hockey or anything like that?
Yes, many times.
Many times. Okay.
Yeah, I
Many
couldn't
times.
remember.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Stay in history.
We're rallying here, 8-1. Thank God.
Wow.
Couple of bonuses in its landmark Marbury versus Madison decision. The United States Supreme Court established the foundational principle of judicial review of the constitutionality of laws and statutes. Think about when that probably happened.
1805.
I like your thinking. 1801.
How about 03? Split the
Oh,
difference, man.
Very
Good
that
good,
was
work.
Sam.
I'm
good.
proud of you both.
Yes.
The U.S. House of Representatives impeached President Andrew Johnson by a vote of 126 to 47 following his attempted dismissal of Secretary of War Edwin M. Stanton. Do you know when Johnson
I have
was
no
president?
idea. I'm
No.
gonna go like 1888.
I'm going to go 1835.
1868.
Whoa.
He came right after
Lincoln.
Lincoln. Okay. In a ruling that expanded legal protections for parody and satire, the Supreme Court unanimously overturned a $200,000 reward that there's a bonus here at the end, the Reverend Jerry Falwell had won against Hustler magazine and its publisher,
Flint.
Larry Flint. You got a bone eye? Okay.
Booyah.
Booyah. And the year was?
I'm going to say,
Mm,
go
You're gonna
ahead,
have to.
Sam.
You
Go
go
ahead.
first.
1982.
Oh wow, I would have been 1972.
88.
Barely.
I would have
He
been
was,
so off.
Larry Flint was a smut in a
Oh, a
wheelchair.
slime ball.
Oh,
Here we go.
gross.
Got the bonus on this. Let's get it, guys. The United States began ground operations in the Gulf War by entering Iraq, held Kuwait,
The, what was last year? 1980.
88.
I'm gonna go 91.
92.
The bonus for the
Yeah.
young man. Thank you.
Good job, Sam.
Yeah.
That was George W. Bush. No, George H.W. Bush.
I'm so bad on my space if it wasn't Mercury or Apollo. Discovery, the world's most traveled spaceship, thundered into orbit for the final time, heading toward the International Space Station on a journey marking the beginning of the end of the shuttle era.
06.
010.
011.
Okay.
Sam's putting up some numbers
Yeah,
here,
putting
as
up
is my
some
man
numbers.
here.
Still
Okay.
ain't beating Dad.
All right, couple left. Hollywood movie mogul Harvey Weinstein was convicted of rape and sexual assault in New York and was led off to prison in handcuffs in a pivotal moment for the hashtag Me Too movement.
2018.
2020.
2020 for the bonus.
Oh my
Booyah.
gosh. Was that it?
Samuel,
We got one
kicking
more.
your butt.
Dang.
Russia began a full-scale invasion of Ukraine, launching airstrikes on cities and military bases and sending troops and tanks from multiple directions.
I was gonna say 22.
22.
There'd be nothing wrong with saying that. Bonuses all around. We're passing
Let's
out
go.
bonuses left and right.
Man, let's see. This is my
Good
best
work,
one yet.
man. Good work.
9-1.
You topped my 8-1.
7
9
and
and 1.
2. 7 and 2.
Yeah,
Nice
very good.
work.
What was that, Sam?
7 and 2.
I could not
What?
be prouder of you guys.
9
I'm
and
21
1?
years
What
old.
was-
We're grading on a curve here, and I'm the
Yeah,
teacher.
there you
All
go.
right.
All right.
What do you got for our
Oh, yeah,
greatness?
real quick.
Real facts that sound like BS.
Okay. I think I've already talked about this, so you should know it. True or false? I can't remember if I did. During a committee hearing, U.S. Congressman Hank Johnson from Georgia once asked whether Guam could become so overpopulated that it might tip over and capsize. He asked that, true or false? He asked that in 2010. Yes or no?
I don't want to be a Debbie Downer, but you did ask that.
You did do it,
It
and I
is
hope we both
true.
remember that
Yes,
it was true. Yes.
it is
It's
true,
true.
and he has
Yeah.
been reelected several times since then.
Since then, he's been reelected.
Speaking, we spent 15 minutes on critical thinking here, and people are voting for this guy who believes an island can tip over. Oh my gosh! All right, our sponsor of the show is Maggie Moo. It's not Maggie Moo Crew, but Hoosier Custom Meats. This is their little logo hat. How do I look? Can you see it?
Mhm.
Yeah, there you go. Hoosier
Ooh.
Custom Meats, spelled HOOSER, custommeats.com. They're in Italy, Texas. They make great beef, meat, chicken, I think, whatever. They make some great food down there. We've tried it and we love it. So check them out if you have need for that. Even if you don't, you want a big party or whatever, don't do the Omaha thing. Do Hoosier Custom
Amen.
Meats. Support a local guy here, local team, local family. Again, HoosierCustomMeats.com or 903-688-1446. Thank you for being with us. We really enjoy having you here.
Have we ever had more fun than today?
Yeah, it was fun. Yep.
Despite tackling some heady material.
Yeah, I got a headache.
Make it a great day and put a smile on somebody's face. We hope we did that for you. Boom.